Well, I mean, when you grow up in a racist family and you decide you're not going to be one anymore, and stuff like this happens, horrible stuff, but you got to find some humor in some things. And I seriously thought my cousins were, I hadn't seen them in a long. We don't see each other a long time,
right?
But when I called Phil Wayne, you guys know Phil Wayne.
Sure, I know Phil Wayne. Good old Phil Wayne.
He went off on a certain.
You talking about P-Dubs?
Yeah, and so now we've been talking about Marla Case online.
Now, what side is she on again?
She's on the side. It's the good side.
She's on the good guy. She's on the.
But yeah, I've been having a blast.
She's on the side that wants to kneel on a flag and desecrate the good name of Jesus America.
Why Jesus? So I've been reading your posts on the air. She's been pissing off people from West Texas like crazy, and we were reading the one today from the guy who can't spell, and it's really distracting me, Marla, because it makes me want to write the people who are mad to you and tell them they better lay off, or I'm going to kick their ass, and then I realize I can't kick anybody's ass.
Well, I appreciate you the thought and wanting to take up for me, but it truly isn't bothering me in the least.
I would have thought living in Los Angeles that you would. You sound like Susan.
I'm laughing.
I would have thought the
Marla,
accent.
you don't even know me. My name is Matt. I've known your name now for 12 years because your cousin just spouts off these Marla Kay and Mutt and Phil Wayne, and just constantly we're laughing. But what's funny?
I told you Mutt's on the Morrow side.
I know.
Cooney's on the Dudley side.
But here's what's funny is every time a relative finally calls in, and it's like a proof of life. It's sort of weird because there's these folklore heroes we've heard about for more than a decade. But every time they open their mouths, I hear the exact same Dudley drawl coming out from them. Here it goes.
No, wait a minute. I would have thought Susan has the worst Texas accent of us all.
You are a broken person, Dale.
I still have a slight. I still have a slight one.
No, you don't.
But
you have a thick one.
But you would think someone moving to Los Angeles would have dropped it a little bit, but she hasn't, obviously. Sorry to hear. What was your son on? What show?
He was on Schooled on ABC, and they just got canceled sadly. But
how many years did it run?
2 seasons.
And he was a sort of a principal, right? I mean, not a principal of school.
Recurring?
He was considered a recurring role, yeah.
Yeah, so he made some good money, I hope.
A little bit, yeah. His character was based on a real person, and it was a really funny character.
Well, are you? Is he back to auditioning?
Well, they're opening up tomorrow, actually, over here. So he's been doing some self-tape auditions, things like that. Still
Filming's
going to
been shut down.
Okay, when these grown men from Kermit who moved to Dayton, when they write that stuff to you? I mean, they're literally going bananas. When they write that to you, does it hurt? Like I get my feelings hurt really easy. Does it hurt your feelings?
No, it actually. It fuels my fire even more than it was before, and it makes me stronger, and it makes me realize who I don't want in my life on my friends list.
And you've actually gone out to protest, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
What?
Typical liberal.
Now, don't get upset with me. You probably don't want this out there, but I've said it on the air before. Marla had her first son with a Hispanic man. How many? I loved your dad, and you loved your dad. But they were different. They were racist. How long did you go without your dad speaking to you?
2 years.
Oh, okay. I say 4 or 6 to make it sound better on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
2 years is still 2 years with
It's a long time.
Well, with a grandchild. I mean, 2 years with a grandchild is a horribly long time to go.
Well, my son was born, and 5 weeks later, my sister stepped in and said, "This is enough. Y'all need to speak." And so she actually initiated the meeting. And
gotcha.
You know, that's Dana Gale.
Yeah, she's
and Dana Gale was
the peacekeeper.
Both of my cousins were really hot when they were younger, especially Dana.
Right.
Sorry, Mark. You too.
So you had already been not speaking for the 2 years.
Right. When he found out that I was engaged, that's when he cut me completely off.
Well, did he? So who made the first call?
My sister, made the meeting at his house. She called him, told him we were coming over there, and we met over at his house. And
was it like my dad would have said? My dad, what the hell are you doing here? And is that Mexican with you right now?
Had he made up a bottle full of queso for the baby?
He knew that I was coming, and I went outside to meet him, and I just said, Dad, I'm sorry. And he cut me off mid-sentence and said, you'll always be my daughter, and I love you. But
don't bring that Mexican in the house.
Right. But when he saw Tristan, he looked at him and said,
he can be half in and half out.
He said, looks like a Mexican Dudley to me.
Oh, man.
And then he was wrapped.
So what made you flip? For me, it was living in Austin and just seeing different walks of life and meeting a lot of, we have a lot of black comedians come in and discussing things. What flipped for you?
I have two when we came here, we knew absolutely no one except for maybe one other family that had come from Texas, but I, was introduced through the industry to some really amazing moms, and two of them are black, and I've become very close with their children. In fact, I was a vocal coach to one of the daughters that, of my friend, and I remember one day her oldest son was my oldest son's age, and he was driving back or wanted to drive back from Tennessee, and she said, no, Marla, I just can't let him drive across country like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why not? I would let Tristan do it, and she said, no,
as long as the tires are new, he'll be fine.
Yeah. She said, you just don't get it. And it took a lot of uncomfortable conversations with her to really understand that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
And yes, I was afraid to speak up, speak my mind against the people that I was raised around and the people that had a hand in raising me. And I just finally said, screw it. Life is too short to just be silent anymore, and I'm not going to do it. And I've got to show my children what it means to recognize their privilege and understand where they come from so that they know what has to change. And from this point forward, we just can't care what anybody else thinks. It's time to stop that mentality.
Bob is here, by the way. Bob Fonseca has been my partner.
And I have some questions for you.
Bob got stopped one night trying to get to Destin, Florida. He's half Hispanic, half Italian, and he only brings up the Mexican part when he needs to.
That was in Louisiana.
He gets stopped in Louisiana
at midnight.
And they give him the third degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but I don't know. It was a young cop. I have a question for you, and I think this is the question that we all bought a ticket for today. Let's talk a little bit about forbidden love among the Dudleys.
There's no forbidden love.
Dale by admission
love.
is kissing cousin.
No, I have said cousins.
Look, the word is out. The word is he made a pass at you one time, you politely.
I did.
You politely brushed him off,
and hopefully she'd probably forgotten about it.
Did you forget about it, Marla Kay?
Was it a kick in the nuts?
She was very nice.
What's a mild brushing off look like?
No, I did not forget about it.
It was
but we're both grown. It's all good.
It was tradition. I'm leaving the show.
Well, Marla, I'm upset about you making out with your cousin, but at least he's a white boy. At least he's a white boy.
We didn't.
She never got to that
I was
point.
not. I personally was not in my right mind.
I know you didn't get to that point, Dale, but it's no fun to talk about what actually happened. It's more fun to pin you into a corner where you try to accost your own cousin.
I want to whatever, Cracker. I want to defend cousin kissing.
Matt just lost half a can of Coke.
I did not know that was the sentence that was coming.
In the past, I think that you married in the past. That was all you had an option to marry were your cousins. So you were given to a cousin.
Still happens.
Yeah, but you guys, your last name is in Ingalls. There were other people on the farm.
Yeah. So, all right.
Uh-oh.
You there? Your phone's cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a tradition back in the day. Marla, the listeners are tired of this story. This is a true story. I probably should tell you off the air. I fell in love with a girl in high school. Like, fell in love. It wasn't requited.
Her name was Susan Dudley. Your sister.
Cousins weren't working out, so
wanted to go a little closer to home.
Well, let's talk about Mama. So, I'm madly in love with this girl. She was in theater with me. We went to a couple of dances together, but it was platonic. And I would go to her house and leave flowers and not tell her who they were from, so on and so forth. Her dad and daddy ran into each other at the barber shop. Last name's Godsey. And and this came up in DNA too. If you look, I know you've done yours. You'll look. And they got to talking about where they were from, and Dad said Trent.
Oh my gosh.
Dad said Trent, and they realized they had the same grandmother. I had fallen in love with a second cousin in high school at random, and she rejected me too.
Lightly brushed off.
But it's there. Do you have the tree done at all?
Not all the way, no.
I'll share you Susan's. It's Karen Godsey, but I'll share it with you. All right, darling.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, Marla Kay, I want to say something to you and a little bit of thank you because you said something that was really important that'll stick with me, and I'll be able to talk to my kids about it. And I think you said it to a lot of people out there listening because especially these days, it's a lot more on the front page, but also just in general, when we talk about race, people tend to get very defensive and uncomfortable because we all want to be superheroes when it comes to race. So we all want to be already on the A team. We don't want to have to go through junior varsity or whatever. So it makes people uncomfortable to have made any mistakes. But you said this, and I wrote it down. It took a lot of uncomfortable conversation to understand that I didn't understand. And
absolutely,
there's a lot in that sentence.
Let's steal it.
I'm going to steal
Let's
it, and
steal
I'm going
it and say it's ours.
But it says a lot. There's contrition in there, and there's taking the L.
I hate you both right now.
Why?
I just hate you both.
Oh, you hate Bob and I, or Marla and I?
I'm 3 minutes back still. My head's still 3 minutes back.
Oh, are you horny right now? Is that what's happening? I'm trying to talk about all the good that's come from this conversation, and you're hoping to get to some. Anyway, I appreciate you saying that because I think for a lot of people, that's one of those things that, that we try to even, express to some of our family members, especially some family members where we can see some cracks or some division in where they've come from and where we know that they can get to. And we don't all have to be perfect human beings, but just that understanding that you don't yet understand is pretty powerful.
I've tried to talk to my brother and my dad about this, and they don't get back to me.
They're dead.
I'm sorry. I love
you. They died of embarrassment when they found out that
I love you, Dale.
Proud of you, and I'm gonna repost some of your stuff for our listeners because keep posting, especially the idiots who can't spell.
Yeah, and Marla,
absolutely.
And a lot of family members never said "I love you" enough to Dale. So if you could say it, and you could say it a little slower and a little sexier, we'd really appreciate it.
They always have said that. I was their baby.
No, it's the joke.
I know, but I want people to know
I do. I do want to say this real quick. I know I'm speaking over y'all, and I apologize. But, Dale, I am extremely proud of you. I'm proud to be your cousin, and no matter what, I do love you. And whatever I do remember, the love I have for you always overshadows anything that.
You mean the love that I had for you? All right, darling. I'll talk to you soon.
Y'all take care.
Tell Dan.
Right,
tell Dan and them hello.
I sure will.
All right, we'll see you. Bye. That turned out much better than I thought it was going to be.
I just
I'm going to kill you, dude.
Anytime a relative.
I thought we were going there. I thought it was in.
No, we weren't going there.
Oh, we went there.
We weren't going there.
How come we don't instantly play banjos when you talk to your family members?
I just realized I hadn't been on camera for 6 minutes, so I had to say something.
So I'm sitting there, and you're saying it. And I want stuff on the show that's shocking and funny. But as you're saying it, I'm sitting there going, surely she doesn't remember. Surely she doesn't remember this pass that was made in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that your cousin leans in for a kiss and you don't remember.
And when I don't know if it was that. I don't remember exactly what it was. But when she said that she remembered, dude, I've got the worst douche chills right now. Possible. Ugh. But she didn't leave. It was just like, no, whatever.
She didn't leave, so she watched you finish yourself off.
No, I was on drugs.
I will eat your ass.
I was on the cocaine, the Bolivian marching.
How did her son get cast, by the way? I wanted to ask her because, you find yourself in situations. You haven't auditioned your kids, but.
She has money from the good dad, the dad who had the oil wells.
Right.
And she went out there. He said that's what he wanted to do.
Oh,
so
okay.
They went out there and they got coaches and they.
Because that's a bold move to make with a kid.
It's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot too. And he did it. I hope it continues for him. And I don't even know his name, but he was on that show for 2 years. So that was funny.
That's good.
That's rerun worthy.
Good old Marla.
That'll be roll to go. As we were going into that story, into that phone call, because that wasn't planned. Phil's been telling everybody to call in. I thought, okay, I'll do. This is going to be 2 or 3 minutes long. A hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I had no idea that would turn into something meaningful and something
disgusting,
hugely
embarrassing.
Hugely embarrassing. We're not at break time, are we?
No. I'm just getting ready. I just got my stuff out.
Okay, because we're going to do the contest next.
And we got maybe a Mount Rushmore.
Cow! So this is the film segment.
Yeah.
That was all? Okay.
Yep.
You saw my uncomfortableness on film.
Right.
And Dylan edited out that dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, edit out that dumb, please.
Please.
Yeah, it wasn't something horrible. It's weird times right now. And you freak out about stuff. So let me see.
The term you're looking for is abundance of caution.
Yeah, there's an abundance of caution in the media business right now. The Punisher artist is taking his Punisher back from people. He plans to reclaim the skull logo from the police for Black Lives Matter. So what will happen to all the guys on raised up trucks?
I don't know.
With the NRA sticker.
How are you going to enforce that?
You can't.
You can't. He said, I'm looking for young comic book artists of color who'd like to participate in a small fundraising project for BLM to reclaim the Punisher skull as a symbol of justice than lawless police oppression. I didn't even know it was a police thing. The Punisher.
The Punisher started as a comic book thing, and then I think a lot of people have never even read the comic book. They just like the look.
It looked aggressive, and
I don't think that everyone who had a Dr. Zog's sex wax sticker
was a surfer.
I think just a lot of people thought, hey, my Camaro really needs a sticker on the back window, or Ultra Hot. Do you remember the Ultra Hot that was around the same time as Dr. Zog's
sex wax? Yeah.
Our brains work so strangely, and I had completely forgotten about the whole Ultra Hot and Dr. Zog's
it was a big
on the
thing,
back
man.
window. That whole part
or on
of
your skateboard or wherever.
Completely forgotten about it, and all of a sudden that just popped into my head. Dr. Zog's sex wax.
A lawmaker, you don't have to play the jingle for Racist Roundup. We'd end up playing the jingle all day today. And I had the video. I don't know if this is it, but...
What the hell is that shit?
It's racist.
Oh, I am, but hold on. What's wrong with it? Sorry. I have. It was telling me to log into the Washington Post, and I actually have a subscription.
You need to reset the Apple.
What? You mean put it up there?
Oh, no, you don't have to.
What?
I didn't know what was going on.
No,
Are you high?
A little bit.
I'm at the Washington Post, and it didn't have me logged in. I have a subscription. Did you see this one? I just let it.
I heard about this, and I was like, I could.
Senate Health and Human Services Committee.
Yeah, it's a state senate of Ohio. Just take a gander at this.
So if in what we know about health, if we know that
COVID.
Communities of color, African Americans, have disparate rates, disparities when it comes to
and he's talking to an African American woman.
This state, 77% more likely to die from diabetes than whites, a preventable disease. So there is already a higher disparity of African Americans who will have diabetes or stroke or heart disease. So when we do not address the disparities that exist before a pandemic, when the pandemic comes and the vulnerable population are those with disparities, it will naturally move and impact those who have higher disparities.
So this is completely going over this state senator's head. I mean, it's because you're going to love it.
I love this buildup. I love hearing this buildup.
Than those who don't.
I understand that, and I guess my point is I understand African Americans have a higher.
I had no idea the audio was this bad.
Sound is going to be bad.
Yeah, he's
no.
I guess I'll read it.
Let's see if we can hear when it gets there.
I guess my point is I understand African Americans have a higher incidence of chronic conditions, and that makes them more susceptible to death from COVID. But it does not make them more susceptible just to get COVID. Even though it's twice as often correct. Could it just be that
here it is.
African Americans or the colored population do not wash their hands as well as other groups or wear masks?
Let's back that up.
Oh, dude.
He said, if you couldn't hear it, he said, could it just be that African Americans or the colored population don't wash their hands as often?
He's canceled.
Well,
first of all, colored is not the vernacular.
No, but she had said populations of color. And,
color?
Yeah, and I think he thought, oh, okay, we can say colored again.
Yeah, because he's not that old.
Well, how old is he?
I heard he was 30-something. Or
that guy's
30.
not 30-something. What are you talking about,
I know.
dude?
I just heard somebody
dude.
earlier on another show say, but he must be in his
60s.
Is he?
Yes.
Dude,
Easily.
that guy's older.
He's got a whole head of...
What are you
But he's
looking
got a
at?
Dr. Zog's sex wax T-shirt on.
Did he really ask an educated woman like that whether or not people... oh, my God. This world has gone upside. I'm going to be sad when I die just because of the drama I'm going to miss out on. Anyway, that's in Ohio. We'll be back in a minute. We'll do our contest. Hang on. Dudley and Bob Show with Matt. It's 4:40.